name is Peter Reichardt. I am an instructor here at South Dakota State University. Actually, it was late at night and I came across this pairing of a landscape with a piece of paper that I had cut from another project sitting on top of it, and I thought to myself, that's really nice. I like that. You know, it's kind of awkward, it's kind of mysterious, would make a really great drawing, so I decided I'm going to try this. I tossed these shapes across this plethora of images, and the ones that kind of landed, you know, square, or at least in the center, were the ones that I picked. The shape itself, like, I think represents a lot of different things. I mean, to me, it's you know, it serves a number of different functions. It's formal. I like the formal qualities of that shape in relation to something that's representational, so that shape is so flat. It's inherently part of the image because it's the paper. Conceptually, to me, it also serves as a representation of the unknown. So in particular, when we're in a landscape, you know, we come to a landscape with, you know, in the experience of being in the landscape or in nature, with a background and our knowledge of what nature is and what nature has in store for us, but we never can be fully aware of what we're actually in, you know. So what's around the corner of that, you know, that bend, or what's, you know, around that ridge line, you don't know. You have an idea and you have a solid foundation or foothold in what's in store, but you really don't know. My work is really actually heavily process oriented. I spend a lot of time looking at an image and trying to understand how it's put together. It's about an understanding of how to build an image, the steps going towards the construction, you know, one step before another step, you know, and maybe I can jump a few steps ahead with my material process, really trying to understand how to construct and how to read and understand and perceive an image. All the work in the show is unframed. I always hate to frame things. I mean, I love framing things because it looks great, but I hate to frame it because it closes it off from the ability to go back and work on it. It closes off that door, so it shuts that door, and it keeps me from. It's kind of like saying, okay, it's over, you know, and I don't want it to be over. Yeah. I want it to be something that you know, 10 years from now I might see it and say, wait a minute, that's the thing I needed to do to it. I came across this wonderful ratty old blue blanket that had these satin edges on it. That was an exact copy of the blanket that I grew up with. And growing up, I was extremely fascinated and into sharks. I wanted to be, you know, someone that dealt with sharks, whether I was a shark wrangler or, you know, scientist that dealt with sharks. I was, you know, I devoured every little, you know, bit of information I could find about sharks. So I thought to myself, you know what, this blanket would serve as a really wonderful, like, illusion or notion of, say, like a glass aquarium window. And there's this wonderful scene where Jaws is coming at the aquarium window and he breaks through the window, and it's great in 3D. And so I was thinking to myself, I could do something like that with this blanket. Like, I would get these Sharpies that would be dying or, you know, close to dead, so they wouldn't have a real good ink flow. And so I had, you know, like 30 of these Sharpies laying around in various places, and I brought them all together and I tested them out on a similar fabric to see how many times I could layer it before it started getting too dark. So I worked with groups of these dead Sharpies or dying Sharpies, and just slowly, methodically built up the surface bit by bit with these dying Sharpies. And if I went too dark, the great thing about this material was I could pinch and pull like the little felt cotton pieces off, and that kind of acted like an eraser. So I was able to control the value by slowly building it up, and then if I go too far, I could take it away and bring it back to this like blue ground. The rapid advancement of the internet into our daily lives and the ability to pull things up, at a moment's notice, I started to think to myself, well, what do I have to add to that? I discovered that it's not so much about the ability to make something representational and make it convincing. It's more about this statement of being able to say, well, I can do this way, and I can use the digital in that way, but I know that by doing it through my hand, I'm making something that's unique, something that's special, even though I'm trying to make it look like it was done by that computer. To me, that human hand and and it's not so much like I want to fool people. I don't want to fool people. I want them to come to it with a viewpoint of, it looks like, maybe they're thinking it's this, but then when they get up close to it, they realize it's something completely different. And so that they have one of those moments where it's like, oh,